Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel Carr. I'm a plant-based chef, and today I'm here in the kitchen of Kara Moon, who's a fellow vegan chef here in St. Louis, Missouri, and the owner of Seeds Cafe, and we are going to be making a vegan margherita pizza. So thanks for having me today, Kara. We're going to be making pizza dough from scratch, which I'm super excited about, and Kara makes pizza at her cafe, Seeds, in Des Moines here in St. Louis. So tell us a little bit more about Seeds Cafe.
We are a plant-based cafe restaurant. We've been in business for about 9 years here in St. Louis. We do burgers and Reubens and pizza, and we just try to make it as healthy as possible. So I'm happy to have you here in the kitchen with me in my kitchen. And I'm excited to learn how to make pizzas with you and from you.
Awesome.
I'm sure that you have kicked it up a notch compared to how we do it. So.
Awesome. Well, for those of you that don't know, I used to run a pizzeria in Los Angeles called the Pizza Plant, and so I have a special place in my heart for pizza. So we're going to be having a lot of fun today. We're going to be making the dough from scratch, and we're also going to show you guys how to make a super simple cashew cheese to put on top of the pizza. And just like that, with a little bit of pizza with a little bit of tomatoes and basil, and it's just simple and delicious. Okay, great. Are you ready to make the dough?
I'm very ready.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk you through the process, and then you can have the experience of making the dough yourself. So the first step is we're gonna take a little bit of, she's got measured out here 2 teaspoons of yeast and a 1/4 cup of flour, and we're gonna add a little bit of warm water to that. Yeah, and just give it a nice stir. You want to get all the lumps out and get it as smooth as you can. You can use a fork or a whisk, whatever you have on hand. Okay, that's great.
Awesome.
That looks perfect. All right, it's been about 15 minutes, and the yeast, water, and flour mixture has had a chance to bloom or activate. And as you can see, it's doubled in size just about, and it's a little bit foamy, which is a good sign. You want it to look creamy, foamy, and like there's a lot of gas going on, because that is the yeast being activated. And so right now I'm going to let Kara get her hands dirty. I'm going to talk her through the process of making the dough. Okay. So you want to start with 3 1/4 cups of flour. We're using a strong flour or bread flour, which means it's high in protein content. And then you're going to add, then we're going to add the yeast mixture. Exactly. Just pour it in. Everybody in the pool.
Oh my gosh, that is so nice. Okay.
Then we have some water here. We have about 3/4 cup of cold water. And then of course it's pizza, so we need to add a little bit of olive oil. So we've got a 1/4 cup of olive oil that we're adding to the bowl. And then 1 teaspoon of sea salt, or Himalayan pink salt, which is what we're using today.
There we go. Okay.
And then you're gonna take, I think there's a spoon over there, yeah. Kara's gonna keep mixing this until a nice shaggy dough is formed, and then we're gonna turn it out onto the table and knead it for about 5 to 10 minutes. And at this point, what you can do is now you can start using your hands and just kind of get in there with your hands, and you wanna just kind of start to knead it in the bowl.
My favorite part.
Before we turn it out.
Can I just set that there?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it feels so light. Okay.
Okay. So now we're gonna just kind of turn it out onto the table. We're gonna dust this with a little bit of extra flour. You're gonna knead it by hand for about 5 minutes, and what we're looking for is for the dough to be nice and smooth and start to feel kind of soft and elastic.
Okay.
That looks awesome. So it's nice and smooth and soft. And the next step is now we're going to form it into a ball and then put it into a bowl, like probably the same bowl that you mixed it in. And we're gonna let it rest for about at least an hour, if not 2 to 3 hours.
Question, can you over knead dough?
I think you probably could, but usually I give up before then.
Right. I mean, I guess, you know, you can kind of tell when it starts to change and get
exactly.
soft. And
you kind of start to feel the dough.
Sometimes you're just having so much fun, though.
Exactly.
You just want to keep playing with your food, right?
Exactly. So we'll just let it have a little rest, and this dough is going to double in size, and it's going to start developing air bubbles. And at that point, we're then going to form it into some nice dough balls in order to make our pizza crust. And there we go. We're going to let it rest for an hour. Okay, here we are with the dough. I know it's in a different bowl, but it's had a chance to double in size. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than it was when we put it in. And you'll also start to see a lot of the gas. There's like air bubbles that's in it, and that's totally normal. That's actually really desirable with pizza dough because that's going to give you a nice, airy, finished pizza. All right.
Is that enough?
Yeah, and then flip it and dust the other side.
Oh my gosh, it feels so good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna ball it.
Yeah, you can ball it like you can just take it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of form it into a ball like that.
Okay.
Just so that it's kind of an even shape. And then you're gonna cut it into 4 pieces with a knife.
Okay.
Okay.
Cut it all the way through?
Yeah, all the way through.
Okay.
We want to cut it into 4 equal pieces.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful flour. Dough, I should say, actually. All right.
Okay, so there you go. So we've got 4 equal pieces, and so now we're going to form these into balls. So, so just watch right here. So you're going to take this piece and you're going to push it in between your hands. Push it, and then you're gonna, it takes a little bit of getting used to. And then the ugly part can get pinched together because that's the bottom of the dough ball. So
Oh,
it should
look,
give
mine
you,
had a little gas bubble in it too. It's
so it should give you a nice, perfect little ball.
Look.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, just like that. So next we're going to be making a really simple cashew cheese to go on top of the pizza. We're going to make a simple cashew ricotta with just soaked cashews, nutritional yeast, a little bit of lemon juice, and some sea salt. So we're going to start by taking the soaked cashews. They've been soaking for a couple of hours. We're just going to dump them into the food processor, and then we'll take, you want to go ahead and squeeze a Meyer lemon in there.
It smells so yummy.
Any kind of lemon or even limes are actually great in this cashew ricotta. And then go ahead and do a couple shakes of nutritional yeast in there. Nutritional yeast is a great ingredient that gives you a nice, yeah, that's perfect. That gives you a nice cheesy flavor. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of sea salt to it. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a spin. I like it a little chunky.
Yeah.
That's great. Looks perfect. Okay, so let's see how they're doing.
Wow.
You can see they've almost like, they're like 50% bigger, I'd say.
And about 50% lighter.
Yeah, and
too.
you can see there's a lot of air bubbles in them. I don't know how well you guys can see close up, but they've grown in size. They've kind of puffed up a little bit from the gas that's been developing inside the dough, and they're really, really nice. I think these are ready to start working with. First step is we're going to take a ball, and we're going to kind of nicely dust the surface that we're working with. And remember the bottom side?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the bottom of your pizza.
Okay.
So you don't want that like, you want the top of your pizza to be as pretty as possible. So the next step is you want to start to kind of roughly push out the shape of the pizza crust. You want to keep it so that it's as round as possible. And what I'm doing is with the pads of my fingers, I'm kind of pushing the gas out and also making the pizza crust bigger. Okay? So you don't want to press on the edge of the pizza, okay, because you want to have some nice like air bubbles in there when you're cooking it.
Plus the crust is so nice to catch the sauce and all that other fun stuff that you put on it.
Now there's a couple of ways that you can get pizza to the size that you're looking for. Now that we've got kind of the edge formed, you can kind of like turn it on your table and kind of give it, like stretch it this way. And as you're working with it, it'll start to kind of like loosen up a little bit too. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get this as nice, as even as possible. You don't want to have like it be super thin in the middle and super thick like around the edges, because then it won't cook evenly, and you might actually develop like an air, like a leak or something. You might spring a leak and have like tomato sauce coming out the bottom. So now I can just go around and like do a little bit of edge stretching on it, and I would say that's probably pretty good to go.
That's perfect.
So that's about, I don't know, 10 inches or so. Yeah, it's like about a 10-inch pizza. So then the next step is we want to take our tomato sauce, and you want to just spread your tomato sauce around the pizza, not onto the edges of the crust. And this is just a store-bought tomato sauce. I like Rouse because they use organic ingredients. And then we're going to take some little fresh tomatoes. We're going to distribute them around the pizza. Now with the cheese, I actually don't like to put the cheese on before I put it in the oven. I like to put it on at the end, because cashew cheese tends to get a little dry. Yeah, dry. So if you have a pizza peel, that's great. If not, you can just kind of
have a pizza pan.
Yeah, pull it up.
A pizza
onto
a pan peel.
A pan. You can kind of pull it up onto whatever it is you're going to be getting it into the oven with. And we have a stone in the oven that we're going to be baking this on. And another nice step to do at this point is to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil and do a little bit of salt before you stick it in the oven. Just a little drizzle around the top of the pizza. And then just a pinch of salt. And like I said, this pizza is going to look a lot different when we pull it out of the oven, because we're going to be adding more things later. We're going to be adding some basil and that cashew ricotta that we made earlier, and even more fresh veggies if you want, whatever. But this is like a nice base to get started with. So we're going to go ahead and bake this, and then Kara's going to try her hand making a pizza crust.
I got this.
Okay, so here's our pizza out of the oven. So now we're going to add some toppings, and we're going to start by adding some cheese. I'm just doing little dollops of cheese around the pizza. And then we're going to do some fresh pieces of basil.
And I like the way you're putting them on just like fresh like that. It's just it's like just a nice, crisp, fresh, light pizza.
And if you want, you can even do another drizzle of olive oil over it.
Yeah, I'm a
fan
of olive oil.
Voila, there's your pizza. So let's cut in. Have a slice. Okay, are you hungry?
I'm
Because
so
I sure am.
Making all this pizza, are you
All
kidding?
right, here we have this beautiful pizza fresh out of the oven. It's like nice and crispy and thin on the bottom with a beautiful pillowy crust on the outside. Let's dig in.
Okay.
Mmm. Mmm. That's so good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm.